Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a review here for a film I've never seen before, but everyone around me seems to have seen it and loved it, including my childhood best friend. He watched it literally on repeat, and I never really heard, like in the online, movie community, I never really heard much about its sequels, including the spin-offs, the Planes movies, but I'm finally talking about the 2006 film Cars from Disney Pixar. Um, I've always wanted to see it. I've literally had it on Blu-ray for ages. Ages. I got it for like $2 at a shop one time. And I got the sequels too for like $2 or $3 over the years. And I've just had them. Just haven't gotten around to them. And many of you know I love like racing games and stuff the older I get. But I had seen a lot of moments. I had seen a majority of this film, I guess. But I had never actually seen the movie from beginning to end until now. And I gotta tell you, the film, if you see clips of this, it doesn't do it justice. You need to see the full movie from beginning to end. If you're one of those types like me who did that, try watching the full thing. I think you'd really be surprised by how fun this actually is. This isn't a world where cars are sentient. There are no people. There are no animals, but there are other vehicles like tractors that are cows, that moo like cows. They just walk around in herds, that kind of thing. Very odd choices. But then, like, cars are basically the people of where they are, which also makes no sense because there's buildings and shit, and, like, you know that old famous photo of, like, New York City in, like, the 20s or 30s or 40s and a skyscraper being built, and those men are, like, out there standing on the rails eating lunch and stuff. The cars can't do that, so what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, that's not happening. Anyway, trying not to break my brain with how all of these things literally could not exist. Like there couldn't be trees if there's no bees and stuff. You know what I mean? So anyway, very odd reality, but it's a Pixar film. This is nowhere as good as something like Toy Story, or like Monsters, Inc., or all the ones my generation grew up with. But this is good. This is really actually good. And if you don't know what it's about, basically there's a guy, he's a famous NASCAR driver, not driver, oh shit. He's a famous NASCAR car, a stock car, named Lightning McQueen, played by Owen Wilson of all people. I don't think I ever knew that Owen Wilson played him here, but he is on traveling one night, and he's in the back of like one of those vehicles that carry NASCARs, from state to state. And when he's traveling, basically a bunch of Fast and Furious cars show up because it's that 2006, I'd forgotten how that was still a thing. I think it's the same year that Tokyo Drift came out of all things. But yeah, these cars are like neon and they're playing bassy music from the 2000s. The Fast and Furious crew show up and basically get that truck that Lightning McQueen is resting on, which is also weird if you think about them both technically being people. Basically, Lightning gets out of the truck somehow and gets stranded out in the desert in this small town called Radiator Falls or something like that. Radiator Springs, I can't remember what it's called. Again, I didn't grow up on this. Bite me. But he gets stranded out there and like he ruined the road with a crazy panic attack that he had. And they basically hold him in police custody and force him to repave the roads. And once it's done, he's allowed to leave. And he like falls in love with a Porsche, and like he meets a guy named Mater that's like my favorite character from all the clips I saw. Right now, he's easily my favorite character from this film, played by Larry the Cable Guy. Everybody remembers him, right? Right? No one talks about how Larry the Cable Guy has basically vanished off the face of the earth. It's very odd. I love Larry the Cable Guy. He was a big deal when I was a teenager and a kid, like when this movie came out. And I watched a lot of his other films, like Witless Protection, I think is one that I saw that was terrible. And Jingle All the Way too. Oh, fucking kill me. But they made this and I never watched it all the way through for some reason. But he is so funny as Mater. I love Mater as a character. He's such a cool, just down-to-earth, rednecky, buck-toothed dude. He's a tow truck. It's rusted out from inside to outside. I love Mater. He's so funny. And the film has some really good themes about like being a winner and like what that actually is in contextualization. And I really love that about it. It's got a great message that we're 20 years down the road now since this movie came out. And we don't make movies like this anymore. Not for kids, not for adults, nobody. No one has a message that's actually worth preaching anymore, or thinking about, or making you feel good. And this movie has that, right? And I don't know about Cars 2 and Cars 3 and Planes, Fire and Rescue. I don't know about all those things. But this was special. I enjoyed this. I thought like the way the cars were animated and moving, that was really cool and fun. Gotta tell you, one thing that's really impressive about this movie that I don't think I ever paid attention to until watching it this time, the sound design. It is fantastic. It might have some of like the best sound design in any Pixar film that's ever existed, at least that I've seen. So for example, you know when your car is like on a dirt road and like little pieces and chunks of gravel and you know, just dirt, clumps and whatever are popping all over the place. They're making that distinct rubber popping noise. That's all over the place in this film depending on where they're driving. And again, Lightning McQueen, being named after Steve McQueen, by the way, which I thought was cool. Him being named, or him being a stock car, you know how a NASCAR car sounds on the track, like that loud revving noise. It's badass. It's awesome. He does that all the time. If your kid loves like cars, not the IP, but like cars, just likes the designs and stuff, this is definitely for them because there's a big variation, man. You have Ferraris in here sometimes. You have like there's a grandma, like an old granny who has like dementia and she might be crazy in the town and she's a Ford Model T, you know? There's a lot of good jokes in here. I really had a good time. I laughed a lot. You know, here lately, and I've talked about this, I've been playing a lot of old games and I've been watching a lot of old shows. I haven't really watched much of newer stuff except for some of the Star Wars stuff I've covered recently and the Rugrats show I just reviewed. But like my gaming choices and stuff have been classical. And then there's stuff like this that's like within the last 20 years, but it's like pretty high tech as a Pixar animated movie, a CG animated movie. And I don't watch enough of this kind of stuff. I just don't. I've missed out on so many films that I was kind of curious about from Pixar and stuff that I wanted to see at some point, just never got around to it, couldn't get to the theaters to see it, or didn't have anybody to go. You know what I mean? So, gotta tell you, I'm pretty happy with what I got here. This was actually fun. I could see myself watching this again. Not as much as Monsters Incorporated, Monsters Inc., whatever we call that movie. And even Monsters University I thought was really, really good too. Not as good as this, surprisingly enough. And I just watched that like last New Year's or New Year's before last or something. And it was great. I had a really good time with that. This is better than that. And I didn't expect that going into it as much as I like Cars. The actual item Cars. So, this was cool for that. I enjoyed it. It has a really solid soundtrack, even though this gave us that fucking Life is a Highway reboot song from Rascal Flatts. Look, I love God Bless the Broken Road. I do. I could listen to it every day and not get sick of it because it's a great, beautiful Christian song. But fuck Life is a Highway. Every version of it, it's awful, it's stupid. I don't care about the themes of that stupid song. It's annoying, it irritates me, and I'd rather be dead than have to hear it again, and it's in this movie. Thank God just like once, and it's not in there again. Thank God. But the movie itself, again, the animation is smooth. I like the characters here. I like the township. I like the location in that desert setting, and how Lightning McQueen is trying to realize, you know, from life's little curveball at him, that he's not the shit. That he should be a little bit more humble and have some humility. This is really good as a movie. I really like that about it. So anyway, after rambling for 10 minutes about a living Cars movie for children, I really enjoyed this. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. If you still, 20 years down the road, have not taken the time to watch this, you should give it a shot. It's not too bad. But I've heard 2 and 3, and I've heard both of the Planes films are all bad, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know what your favorite Cars film is. Yeah. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you again. Goodbye.